My dear girl, there are some things that just aren't done. Such as drinking Dom Perignon 53 above a temperature of 38 degrees Fahrenheit. That's as bad as listening to the Beatles without earmuffs.
These days he would have joked about One Direction. Hi, I'm Kevin from the SDP, and this is the 007 Diamond Jubilee. Our story starts with 007 investigating a Mr. Auric Goldfinger. On the surface, he is obsessed with gold and he runs a network of facilities for smelting it. But he also smuggles the stuff for profit, not to mention cheating at cards and golf on the side. He attracts MI6's attention once his activities start disrupting the value of the pound. Oh, and after Bond seduces his accomplice, Jill Masterson, he kills her and paints her in gold. Things get complicated when Bond hears of Operation Grand Slam, some sort of secret plan aimed at Fort Knox. At first, Bond and the audience are led to believe that Goldfinger is setting out to steal the gold from Fort Knox, but after he listens in on a briefing, he drops this upon us.
$15 billion in gold bullion weighs 10,500 tons. Now at the most, you're going to have 2 hours before the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines move in and make you put it back.
Who mentioned anything about removing it?
But of course, his government's given you a bomb.
I prefer to call it an atomic device. It's small, but particularly dirty.
Well, if you explode it in Fort Knox, the entire gold supply of the United States will be radioactive for 57 years.
58 to be exact.
I apologize, Goldfinger. It's an inspired deal.
Furthermore, this decision corrects a plot hole in Ian Fleming's original novel, published in 1959, in which Goldfinger's plot did involve physically taking the gold. Speaking of the novel, Bond goes through a number of girls on his way to bring down Goldfinger. After Jill gets her deadly coating, he meets another woman who turns out to be her sister Tilly. And then...
My name is Pussy Galore.
I must be dreaming.
Miss Galore is Goldfinger's personal pilot, and he uses her to poison the air around Fort Knox. She gets some pretty awesome scenes, especially after her character was rewritten to use judo, and she has a fierce independent streak. That is until Bond takes her into the barn at Goldfinger's ranch and seduces her. Yeah, implied rape doesn't exactly stand the test of time. Also, for the record, in the novel, Galore was explicitly stated to be lesbian, and as such was not the final love interest for 007. This isn't really brought up in the movie, all we get is the occasional line like this.
You can turn off the charm. I'm immune.
I'll tell you one thing, if there were any shortcomings of the first 2 Bond movies, even the one I gave a perfect score, it's that they don't have as much, shall I say, personality. Goldfinger, on the other hand, is stocked with memorable moments, so much that 3 of its scenes were examined on Mythbusters. First, there's the aforementioned Golden Assassination. Second, this film boasts Odd Job, Goldfinger's Korean servant who throws a lethal razor-brimmed hat as a weapon. Third, Q Branch gives 007 a new car, the Aston Martin DB5, loaded with weapons and gadgets, some of which are surprisingly down-to-earth by today's standards. And then there's this scene.
Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Not only has Goldfinger sentenced Bond to a slow yet tense and inevitable death, but he's laid his weapon of choice first on the line. This right here is the definition of vulnerability, especially since those things Bond seems incredibly fond of using are involved. And how does he get out of this one? No, he doesn't break out some gadget to free himself at the last second, he talks his way out of it. Yet another defining moment is presented to us via the title song, sung by Shirley Bassey. Like so many other elements of the film, this song and its performance served as a blueprint for so many other Bond and non-Bond themes. It's campy, sure, but the way Bassey goes over the top with the energy of her performance pushes that camp into awesomeness levels. The lyrics ain't bad too. Newsflash, Goldfinger loves gold and is bad for women. For the opening credits, scenes from the film are projected onto a golden statue of a woman. This works out like the credits from the last movie, except much more static. Goldfinger's scale differs from the other films that, instead of continuing the Spectre saga, it has Bond fighting an independent criminal in a standalone mission. Not that that's a bad thing, of course, but it doesn't feel right next to the excellent, more down-to-earth From Russia with Love. And let me put it to you this way. I can't sit still thinking that B and C-list spy fictions borrow their stuff from this kind of Bond movie, without paying attention to, what made it good. Goldfinger borders on camp, but it's awesome camp. And I may take issue with this being called the best of Bond, but Goldfinger has it where it counts and goes the extra mile in creating a mission the viewer will never forget. Goldfinger scores 90%, an A-, and a Dragon Award. This film is a must-see.
Shocking.